So many of these YouTube videos here are prompted by questions that I get asked all the time. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask away in the comments, no pressure. But the question that prompted this video is, how many juggling balls do you have? Now usually I'm asked this question by kids at birthday parties because I do like a 3-ball act, then a 5-ball act, and then the very difficult, impressive trick of 7-ball juggling. But the kids are never happy with the insanely freaking hard trick that is 7-ball juggling, so then they obviously will always ask for 10-ball juggling or 100-ball juggling or, without fail, 1,000,000-ball juggling! Unlike how I would definitely fail if I were to, try to do 1,000,000-ball juggling, because it's not possible! Unless they're really small and inside other juggling balls, then I could totally do it. Anyways, whenever they ask me this, I don't really have an answer, and the reason for that is because I don't know. I just don't know how many juggling balls I have, because I lose some all the time, I find some all the time, it just kind of happens. So, today, I thought I'd show you my balls. Not like that, like this! So, not only will I show you my balls, but I will also show you my entire juggling collection. This is nearly 14 years of juggling compiled into one singular pile, hopefully by the end of this video, because I really need an excuse to reorganize my juggling room, because it needs it. But let's get started with the props that I use every single day in my prop box that I use for every single event that I do, whether it's birthday parties, street performing, farmers markets, filming shoots, private shows, like that one at your mom's house. Ladies, gentlemen, people of the audience, put your hands together for Evan the Juggler's prop box. Oh God, come on. Whew. Ta-da! So this here is my box of props that I bring to literally everything that I have to use props at, which is everything that I do. And it's amazing. I filled it with stickers on 2 of the 4 sides. Here's the other side. Yeah, so these sides are dark just in case I need to make it moody and not super fun like my street performing acts, where I obviously want it like this. So it's extra cool because it opens up and it looks very good, as you can tell. We talked about this in my upgrades video, where I used to just have a duffel bag, so this is definitely an upgrade. But if we bring you just a little bit closer, you can see that it is in fact packed to the brim with cool things. It doesn't look packed to the brim, but it really, really is once you put the extra box thing in there. So, ta-da! Let's begin the showcase with the prop that I use the absolute most, and it is, of course, the juggling clubs. I have 5 juggling clubs that I use for busking. And these here are the Play PX3s. They're amazing. They're the club that I use literally every single day. I have multiple different kinds of them, which we will go over shortly. And they are, like, so durable. I have had these for so many years, and they have not even deteriorated at all. Oops. So we have 5 white and green Play PX3s. The next prop to showcase is, of course, the balls. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 white Higgins Brothers 2.5-inch juggling balls. These are my favorite type of juggling balls. They last for a few years, but they're so much easier to juggle than like any other kind of juggling ball I've tried. I love beanbags, and these ones are from Canada, so shipping is cheaper. And you may be wondering, Evan, you can only juggle 7 balls. Why do you pack 8? Well, I have a very important reason for that. And it is, of course, the busking hat, because I do perform a lot outside, and this makes sure it doesn't blow away. But of course, it's always so full of coins, it would never blow away. But you always put it in anyway, because even if there's an insane amount of coins, if someone puts a bill on top, they can see the juggling ball, lift it up, put it down, and the bill doesn't go anywhere. It's great. The amount of times I've had to chase a $5 down the road is ridiculous. And this certainly puts a stop to that. So, I just realized I'm gonna be kneeling for like most of this video, but we have one Indiana Jones busking hat from way too long ago, and 8 white Higgins Brothers juggling balls. Fun fact, I will actually be replacing these white juggling balls with some yellow ones fairly soon, hopefully. They need an update. The next thing we're gonna go over are the cigar boxes. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cigar boxes. And of course I went with all the multicolors because, well, they look cool and I perform for children, so colors are good. But of course, these are the Henry cigar boxes, the blue ones specifically. I love these things, they're great, they've lasted many, many years. But the one thing that I can't figure out is what this tape is supposed to be. Like, I've just used hockey tape to replace it because it does get old over time, but it's definitely not right. And I can't figure it out. But for the meantime, it works fine. So yeah, Henry cigar boxes. 7 of them to be exact, and they're gonna go right over there as we now talk about the Rubik's Cubes. I always pack 3 Rubik's Cubes with me and a spare in case that happens, but instead of it being nice carpet, it's concrete and it shatters into a million pieces. So, you may be wondering what brand of Rubik's Cubes I use, and the answer is whatever the cheapest one online is. So yeah, just go for it. There should be about $5 Canadian, and that's the one. So yeah, I always have 3 Rubik's Cubes with me at all times, and 1 just in case. Oh, but we're not done yet. Of course, I also have to... Get out of there. Also have to pack 3 juggling knives. These are Higgins Brothers juggling knives. And I know what you're thinking, and the answer is yes, they are the metal ones, so please do not try juggling these at home. But these ones have lasted many, many years. The only complaint I have is that they do stab themselves sometimes, so you do have to replace them slowly over time, but they last for many, many years. These make for one of the best grand finales, and I love them. Perfect. Speaking of grand finale, I also bring my ridiculously tall unicycle with me, which as you can see, is ridiculously tall. It is a 5.5 foot tall giraffe unicycle from Nimbus? I think that's the name of the unicycle, not the brand, but it's the Nimbus unicycle. And I bought this thing secondhand in a Dairy Queen parking lot, so it's gone through a lot. But combined with the knives, this makes for an awesome show. But it's not done yet. Because to add to the danger, I also have not 1, but 3 handmade chainsaws. See, it's like a chain and a saw. It's a chainsaw. I think I made these by just going to Home Depot and buying saws and chains, and it was very easy, actually. These had about 1 minute to 1.5 minutes to the act, and I think they are hilarious, so would highly recommend if you're a comedy juggler, and you're constantly asked if you can do chainsaws, because that happens way more than you'd think. But before the chainsaws, I came up with a better response to, oh, can you do the chainsaws? And that's, of course, by pulling out the most dangerous chainsaw. Chainsaw the chicken. I did make a whole video about making this guy, but as you can see, he's had some better days since I last made him. Made him? Well, I mean, I only made him once, but he's some of the paint I did is chipping off, but he has held up quite well, and he still squeaks, which is always a benefit. So Chainsaw the Chicken is probably a fan favorite, and he's my favorite too. What a good assistant. Another very important prop that's in the box is not 1, but 5 juggling rings. And these are the Play B-side rings, and I love them thoroughly because they have colors on both sides, but I think they've discontinued them. So I'm a little disappointed. But these are my favorite rings. They're a little bit stiffer than the other ones, which means they're better for ring grinds. And this is the best part. They look so cool. Like, just, whoo, magic! They've changed colors. But of course, with all of these props here, there is like an unlimited amount of tricks, but sometimes people watch my show a lot because they keep coming back to the places that I perform, and I run out of content to show them, so I've started doing magic as well. Not just droppling. I think I'm blocking it. No, I'm not. Droppling. Get Evan the Droppler, because I drop a lot. Get it? Get it? Thank you. But anyway, what I've done is I've got some magic props, so as you can see, I have a bag that is full of 3-ball tricks. So I have them all written out on cue cards, and I drop them a lot too. Okay, maybe I should put this away. That's why I'm dropping like crazy. I'm also dropping my words. But basically what this act is a very, very fun one for kids, where they reach in, they pull out acts, like tricks to do, and I try to perform them. But of course, whenever I want one specific kid to pull one out, it's always the Cascade, which is the easiest 3-ball trick there is. So this is one of my new favorite acts, and I find it very, very fun. So yeah, we have a magic bag full of juggling tricks, and I find this way more fun than I should. That goes there. But the magic's not over yet, because I also have 4 decks of cards that I bring with me. So yeah, I do swap these decks out fairly often, although these ones are starting to get old, so it might be time for a new one. But they're always ready to do different tricks at different times. So if kids come over and they've seen this show a million times, I will hopefully have something new and improved in the form of Evan the Magician, instead of Evan the Juggler. Sorry. I even have a wallet that I totally forgot about that basically what happens is you get them to pick a card, lose the cards, and you tell them that their card is going to be in the wallet. Your card is going to be in this wallet. Think of a card and it will be in this wallet. Are you ready? There it is! Your card! I haven't performed this in a while. I'm going to have to do that again. But that's actually not the only magic wallet I have. This one I actually keep some money in because... Oh god, that can't be good. But basically, I have some coins in it because I do have a few coin tricks, and if it's early on in the busking day, sometimes they don't have the right kinds of coins, so this is just in case coins. And always a $5 bill, because you don't like starting with the hat completely empty. But I do have one more prop in the box, which is the ultimate contingency plan in case the Evan the Dropper gag doesn't work. It is, in fact, if I drop again, I can go like this. And make it look like I meant to do it. Ta-da! So here's where we start my juggling collection with 1 juggling prop box, 8 juggling balls, 5 juggling clubs, 5 rings, 7 cigar boxes, 4 Rubik's Cubes, 4 chainsaws, 1 of them being a chicken and 3 of them being acoustic, 3 juggling knives, 4 decks of cards, 1 cool bag of 3-ball tricks, 2 magical wallets, and of course, a slide whistle, but it's not done yet, because we also have the most important thing, which is the busking hat, and of course, the ridiculously tall unicycle. Dun dun dun! But there is one more prop that I actually do use in my everyday carry, but only when I'm not performing outside. And it's these clubs right here. Here, I'll make it easier to see. They're my LED clubs, and they are amazing. These are the Flotoys Vision clubs, and I love them. They're very, very expensive, but totally worth it. And of course, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these lovely clubs. You know, I guess I didn't really have to wait until nighttime to film this part, so I'll film the rest tomorrow when it's bright again and easier to see. Although these do work really well. This is crazy. Time for the Patreon ad. Speaking of Patreon, did you know that this video is made possible by my patrons on the Patreon page? Woo! Yay, Patreon! But of course, if you're interested in becoming a patron, you should, because you get exclusive Evan the Juggler content and help support my work. But you also get monthly blooper reels, videos of my live acts and performances, TikToks that were too raunchy for TikTok and got taken down, early access to these YouTube videos here, and so much more. So again, feel free to go check out the Patreon page, you know, easy peasy. And thank you to all of our lovely patrons here for supporting the show. And on with the show. Thanks for watching. And thank you again, patrons. You guys are amazing. It is now the next day, but I did not realize how long juggling at the market would be, so it's almost dark again. But that means we just gotta go really quick. So, before we start going through all of these lovely props, we start the pile. So these props here are essentially my Overflow props. I've got extras of some of my favorite types of props, or different colors, or just older versions of them that I've had to replace over the years, but they're still good, so I use them occasionally. And in this bin right here are the juggling balls, so let's start with them. To be honest with you, most of these are Higgins Brothers juggling balls. Like, we've got the red ones, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, oh goodness, 9, 10, there's more. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, just 10. So I have 10 red 2.5-inch Higgins Brothers juggling balls. And then 9 more, slightly more degraded white Higgins Brothers juggling balls. Oops. 3 yellow ones. 3 blue ones. 3 green ones. And 5 slightly bigger green and white ones. Oops, I meant to do that. that appears to be the end of the Higgins Brothers balls, but we do have more. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 play stage balls. I actually bought these in Italy. They're very, very fun. And I'm pretty sure these are MMX balls. They're some of the first juggling balls I bought because they're called stage balls, and that means you juggle them on stage. But I didn't end up actually using them to juggle on stage because whenever you drop, they roll like crazy. So they were too risky to actually perform on stage. I could probably do it now, but what I do use these instead is for traveling. Like between either these ones or the red ones. They are waterproof, which is great because I usually like going places where the ocean is. Especially when I was on the cruise ships, there was a lot of ocean there. Anyway. But we have 3 more juggling balls to end it off. I bought these ones from Higgins Brothers again, but these are LED juggling balls. They only do blue, and I don't use them very often, and you can tell because these 2 don't currently work. I think I need to replace the batteries. And now let's move on to the rings that I keep right here. Essentially, I have 2 more of the play B-side rings, just as spares, just in case, or if I ever learn how to juggle 7 of them. I then also have 5 red play rings. I don't know what these are called. I think they're just regular rings. They don't have many options for rings, and it was the ones that are the, I believe, 12 inches, or 11.75 or something. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 more rings. Some of these were my first juggling rings, but I honestly don't know which ones they were because they all look fairly similar, but I have bought more over the years, and they served me well, but I don't juggle these ones anymore. But they're still really good quality rings. Then we move down a little bit onto the clubs. I don't have 5 more Vision clubs. These are the same ones. I forgot I put them there. But what is new are these 5 Play PX3 clubs, and they're the same brand and design as the other white and green ones that I use, and they juggle exactly the same. They're just completely orange. And then I have 2 completely pink ones. And then I have 3 teal ones. However, these ones are slightly different because they have a wrapped handle. Ooh. But they still juggle the same. These ones, however, are slightly different. These are actually made by Henry's, and as you can see, they have loops, because they're called the Henry loops. These also juggle exactly the same as the PX3s, but they look kind of cool. Next up on the showcase, I will show you my extra chainsaw collection. We have, of course, the original Chainsaw the Chicken. He doesn't squeak very well. And the new Chainsaw the Chicken. I did get this chainsaw in the hat while I was street performing, so if my current one dies, we do have a backup. Flying chickens. They didn't fly very well. Oops. But I also have 6 more spare Rubik's Cubes that are always on display, because sometimes when I try to solve the Rubik's Cubes, I mess up so badly, it takes so long to solve them, that I have a funny joke where I just chuck one off to the side and I switch them with these ones, which you may notice have the black plastic on them. The other ones are white, so it's very obvious that I switched it. And you gotta be really obvious when you do that, or people think that you're actually trying to fool them and not make them laugh, so then they start trying to decipher the trick. And, yeah, then you have to explain the joke. Anyway, it's a whole thing. I'm really good at explaining jokes, but in the meantime, we've got 6 more Rubik's Cubes to add to it. Again, the cheapest ones I could find online. Another fairly new addition to the collection are 9 brand spanking new silver Henry cigar boxes. These are amazing. They are better quality than the other ones because they're newer and they're less deteriorated, but they juggle exactly the same, and I love them. I'm gonna put these down nicely because, again, they're new and I don't want to break them. Not that they'll break, they're pretty indestructible, but, you know, just in case. I also have 3 more fairly new Higgins Brothers juggling knives, but those 2 are normal. But this one actually has a bullet through it. Crazy, isn't that? I don't know what act to use this with at the moment, but I think it has potential. There is one more knife that was actually my first ever juggling knife. I believe they were by Mr. Babachi, and as you can tell, it is very much destroyed after all my juggling, but it's so destroyed, it breaks in half. So I have used this in shows in the past, which you can find on my Patreon page, yeah, I haven't used it very often because it looks so different from my current knives, and I'm waiting for one of them to break, but they just haven't yet. We also have 2 bearing Diablos by Higgins Brothers and some lovely hand sticks. And 3 different devil sticks, 2 of them being this kind, and one of them being like more of a flower stick, and of course a whole bunch of handles. But of course, these are quite fun. I just don't have an act for them at the moment, so I don't perform them. I also have one Fushigi contact ball, which I also don't have an act for, but it does come up occasionally. And it also drops quite occasionally, because I don't really know how to contact juggle very well. Mainly because I think they look cool, but I do perform some card tricks. I have an insane number of decks of cards along the top here. So let's go through them. So this stack right here, I actually keep in my room instead of in the juggling room, because they are some of the prettiest ones and I like to look at them. We've got some Anyone cards, some blue First Bicycle collaboration cards, some yellow Jerry's Nugget cards. I feel like it's gonna be a while if I try to explain what all of these are, but essentially, I did end up buying most of these when I was on the cruise ships. And the reason for that is because, well, there were so many cool Magic stores there. So I went there for juggling balls, but I came back with an insane amount of cards. Although I did buy these ones online. So I did buy a lot online as well. Like this one, and this one, and this one too. But these three I actually did not buy online. This one I got from Genoa, Italy, from a really fun Magic store. And these ones I got in Napoli, Italy, which was another juggling and Magic store. So that was kind of the gateway to buying an insane amount of cards. I do have a couple more of the unopened ones from up there, and I have 4 of the Chris Ramsey First collaboration ones, and also one of these Super Bees, which are kind of fun looking. But the rest of these are open, and I do actually use them, so I have my yellow collection. We have some Nox, another one of these ones, some yellow bicycle cards, but I actually got these ones in Barcelona, so that's pretty darn cool. And of course, another Jerry's Nugget and an Anyone deck, but these are the actual opened ones. So I can use them and have fun with them. And try to do cool tricks like this. Oh goodness, I don't practice this enough. Anyway, I have a bunch more cards to show, so let's do some more of that. This one here is also cool ones. We have the red Nox, the open Ramsey Madison Knights, some blue Cherry Casinos, a deck of cards from the Paris Casino, which I got to go see when I went on my vacation to Vegas. So if you want to see me talk about that, I have 2 YouTube videos about it, so go check them out. We have a teal bicycle deck, a Memento Mori deck, the open Sleepers deck, Pythagoras playing cards. These ones look kind of cool. Look at that, that's rad. The opened Super Bees, and the opened Dimension Shifts, which are my favorite cards. Look how pretty they are. I love them. These are all just bicycle decks, but in different colors, so I have 9 more decks of cards, and have a really little deck of cards. And all of these random cards are fun ones, like this is a 3.5 of clubs, which I think has potential to be a funny joke one day. One day. I forgot I bought this. I have a cool card clip that you can put like a deck of cards in, so if you're ever like performing magic, you can keep your deck pristine. Woo! It's quite pretty though. And I have 7 more decks which are prepared for different magic tricks at any point in time, so maybe we'll remember how to perform these one day. Because they're very fun. I really went on a spending spree on my cruise ship contract, didn't I? Wow. It was definitely worth it. These are rad. Oh, I forgot about these Rubik's Cubes. These are my heat-sensitive Rubik's Cubes, and as you can see, they're completely black, but if you heat them up, you kind of start to be able to see the colors. So, they're a pretty cool prop, and I'm working on an act with them at the moment, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Coming soonish. Time to put all these cards into the pile. Oh gosh, there's so many. We're back to some actual juggling props, which is of course in this bag right here from Play. So I have 7 bounce juggling balls, and of course these are by Play, and they are really good quality. I just have not performed them yet, so maybe that'll happen soon. Maybe, I don't know, I haven't thought of an act yet. Now for the miscellaneous, I have a fart machine. That was a good one. 4 egg shakers, because, well, they make noise, and juggling while making noise could be fun. I don't know if you can hear me right now, but maraca time. Anyway, next thing. Definitely adding to the miscellaneous, we have some mouse traps, which are very scary to juggle, but I do it on the Twitch stream occasionally. God, I hate these things. And kind of down in the corner here, we have my first ever professional juggling balls. And I love these things, but you can see they are very, very squishy at this point. And right beside them, we have my first ever juggling balls. These ones I made at a circus camp, and I love them, and as you can see, they juggle as if they're still brand new. This is kind of a juggling adjacent prop, but I have a unresponsive yo-yo where you can do like, these kind of, this is why I don't perform it, but you can do cool tricks like this, which is very, very fun and slightly terrifying, so, you know, a yo-yo, cool. This also definitely adds to the miscellaneous, but I got tipped this recently, and it like makes like a big loop of string, so I'm hoping to turn it into an act someday, but this is definitely miscellaneous. Also miscellaneous, we have some things that were tipped in the hat but might make it into an act one day. We have a tiny chick, which could be like Chainsaw the Chicken's friend or kid or something, I don't know. And an infuriatingly difficult egg puzzle, so it's like a slidey puzzle, and on the Twitch stream I had to actually solve this while juggling. And I did it, but it took forever. I also have 3 kittens ready to be juggled. Okay, fine, I'm kidding. They're of course fluff balls. I got given these at a market as well, and I think they're hilarious. I have not yet tried to traumatize children with them, but today, maybe tomorrow, who knows? Give it a shot. And of course, in this box over here, I have some miscellaneous magic items. I have a magical growing rose. A magical cup that's a really fun act that involves like newspaper and pouring water and stuff. It's an absolute blast. I'm kidding. I have one of those wands that when you hand it to an audience member, it stops working. And even some fun magically appearing Rubik's Cubes. I have a decently fancy cups and balls set, which I have not made an act for yet. Somebody was mowing their lawn, and it's dark again. And I even have 3 or 4 manipulation balls. Oh, they're so hard to catch. And a whole lot more random miscellaneous magic tricks, but they're magic tricks. They're supposed to be surprising, so I can't tell you all of them. Possibly one of the most important objects for at least the live streams is the D20 decisions, where I've written down a whole bunch of different props and numbers of props on the die so that I can roll it and then perform whatever it says. A lot of people ask me where I got this. I made it myself. It's made out of cardboard and duct tape, and it works surprisingly well. It's only slightly falling apart. Whoopa! Whoops. Oh, there's even more miscellaneous things. I have a roll-a-bola. And if you've never seen one of these before, it's essentially a balance board, and it's really hard to do when you're kneeling down like this. And these are not cigar boxes, but they're actually handstand blocks, so you use them to help you balance as you handstand, and they were made by my great friends Rico and Vivi. I won't show you the handstands right now, because the usual handstand space is, well, I'll show you. It's definitely the definition of a pile, to say the least. And over here is essentially the deep storage, the stuff that I don't use really at all, but I did almost forget about my insane number of other juggling balls. These are a miscellaneous group of balls for sure, but I use these for events and birthday parties and stuff whenever I get hired, and I have to teach a bunch of kids how to juggle. So let's count how many of these we have. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68! Almost nice. But I dare say that is a lot of juggling balls. Over here, we have materials for kids to make their own juggling balls out of tennis balls and, that's where that went. I found the 69th. But basically out of tennis balls, rice, and electrical tape, and it's a super fun activity for kids, but decently heavy. So I'm gonna put that back right here and not in the pile, because it doesn't really count as part of my collection. And now into the Narnia colors. Never mind, it's just a bunch of random stuff. Basically, I have some extra cones, because when I perform, I like to put cones around me so kids know not to get too close or I'm gonna bonk them in the head with a juggling ball, and that's not fun. Oh, I have even more Rubik's Cubes! I think this was one of my first ever Rubik's Cubes, because it's actually Rubik's brand. We have another one of the really cheap online ones, but this one has no borders, which is interesting. I have a 2x2 and a 4x4, which, to be honest with you, I don't remember how to solve. That's where that went. I have my emergency bike pump for my unicycle, which should probably be in my car, not in the deep storage. More playing cards. These are massive ones. I have not used these in an act yet, but oh, they have potential. What's in here? Oh, even more miscellaneous magic stuff, and other fun things like clown noses. These are to remain a secret in case I decide to actually perform them. Ooh, TheraBands for when I used to exercise. Well, I never really did exercise, but when I was on the cruise ship, there's a physio, and they give you exercises to do to, like, help your shoulders not always be like this, because I don't know about you, but I don't have the best posture, and juggling does not help that. So this is supposed to help it, but clearly it's in deep storage for a reason. I have not been doing them. Sorry, guys. Newspapers for the cup trick. A box of miscellaneous things, like a broken Rubik's Cube. Random tapes. A USB for if I have to perform to music, and I have to bring it to the event. String and random stuff. Oh. I found the rest of the mouse traps. We're just gonna leave that in deep storage, that's for sure. I also have some more juggling rings at the bottom here. These are my massive ones. So I got 5 of these red ones, but I don't really use them because, as you can see, they're like a little bit warped, which makes it really hard to juggle. And I have 3 more random massive ones that were given to me by a friend. I have a bunch of extra bags in case some of my other ones break or I just haven't used yet. Fancy. Ah, no way! This is the shirt of my first juggling company that I had with my friends. Basically, there were 4 of us, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we were very, very talented, and we made matching shirts, which was adorable. Back into deep storage. And in this box, I have even more props. To start us off, we have 3 of these white Higgins Brothers clubs, and they are a very good option for a budget-friendly club, because they have both the padded ends, but they don't juggle quite as well as the PX3, so I don't use them very often, hence the deep storage. I also have my first set of juggling clubs. These are from Higgins Brothers from way back when. This was before I used to take the stickers off of them. That's funny. Cool. The friend who gave me the rings also appears to have given me his first set of clubs as well, so I think he might have given up juggling. And I believe these are called the Play D clubs. They basically have little silicone parts on them here, so you can put paper underneath them and make them whatever design you want. But my LED clubs definitely replaced these ones. But I have 6 of these ones, and they were good while they lasted. I have 3 more slightly fancier versions of the white juggling clubs from Higgins Brothers. These were fun. Oh, that's where the other knives went. My first set of juggling knives. Cool. I think this might have been my first set of the Higgins Brothers juggling knives because they are destroyed on the handles there. Wow! I also found 6 more random juggling balls. And for one of my birthdays as a kid, I got 3 LED juggling balls, which change color, but they're actually dog toys, which is great. So they kind of bounce, and they're very, very indestructible, but I'm amazed that still works. Ah, sweet. I even have some snowman juggling balls. Frosty, the copyrighted music. Apparently I have 3 golf balls. I think I probably use this for Will It Juggle and then never again. And I have 3 homemade poi, which are in deep storage for a reason, because I really can't juggle these. I've tried to learn, but it just has not happened. So maybe I'll try it again someday, but for now, probably back into deep storage. And now for the final tally of all of my different objects. To start off, we have the balls at 153 different juggling balls, which is insane. I honestly thought there were more, though. Then onto the rings, we have 35 of them. We've got a bunch of small, some big ones. And of course, the clubs. As you can see, there's an insane amount of the ones that we always use and then the ones that I don't use very often. But the grand total is 41 clubs. Then onto the cigar boxes, we of course have 16, 7 new, 9 other way around, 7 old, 9 new. Then onto the knives, we have 11 juggling knives. One of them may or may not be snapped in half. We of course have 6 chainsaws and a lot of mouse traps, but that's not all of them. There's more. Of course, then we go on to the Rubik's Cubes, which we have 18. Some of them aren't normal Rubik's Cubes, but of course, they're all fun, and they're all puzzle cube-ish shapes. That one might be an egg, but it's still a cube in our hearts. Of course, we have 3 different devil sticks, 2 Diablos, and on the topic of string-related things, we have 3 handmade poi, a loop lasso, and a yo-yo. And then we're on to our juggling or circus adjacent equipment. And of course we have 2 lovely hand balancing blocks, 1 rollabola, and a ridiculously tall unicycle. And of course, my beautiful juggling box. But after all of that, we go into some stuff that I don't perform quite as often, but we have a plethora of magical items. We have 54 decks of cards, which is insane. I think there might be more hidden around the house, but these are all the ones I could find. And of course, one lovely card protector clip. Card clip, that's what it's called. And after that, we have an even more plethora of random items that just never really end when you're a comedy juggler. You get an insane amount of bizarre things and costumes and props, to say the least. So, this is just the beginning. And that, my friends, is my complete juggling and juggling adjacent collection as of 2024. It is huge, it is massive, and it could still be bigger because it's always growing. But now that I'm looking at it all around me, it might be time to get rid of some things. So we'll see how that goes. I do get kind of attached to things, so it's kind of hard to get rid of things most of the time. Hence why I still have a lot of my early on props that I probably haven't touched in like 3 years. Oops. But I do find the collection interesting when I look back at it, because it kind of reminds me directions that I thought I would end up going and then definitely didn't, like with the Poi or the Yo-Yo, or Diablo even. I don't like Diablo. Diablo is the most difficult prop I have had to perform on stage. It is insanely difficult. But I hope you enjoyed joining me on this adventure of just seeing what is hidden in this juggling studio. So thank you so much for watching, and of course, I will see you next time on the next video. After I'm done organizing all of this, which might take a long time, so wish me luck. See you in a bit.